It's about time, it's about space, about strange people in the strangest place.
When traveling across the country, we take the time zones for granted. But keeping time wasn't always so simple. Up until the 1880s, there was no such thing as a time zone. Most cities and towns set their clocks to the sun. Some places used time balls to regulate local time, lowering a large ball from a high mast every day to mark official noon. Sound familiar? That's the source of the ball in Times Square that drops annually to mark the new year. But time balls didn't help synchronize time between towns. Back then, there were as many time zones as there were cities. It was chaos for an increasingly powerful industry. So in 1883, the mighty railroads changed time. They drew up the 4 time zones so trains could stay on schedule and carved our country into brand new shapes. Like our states, time zones have their own quirky boundaries. The Eastern Central Timeline cuts straight through Tennessee and Kentucky, and then it meanders in and out of Indiana. The Mountain Time Zone claims small pockets of Texas and Kansas, and strangely cuts east-west across Idaho. Why the wiggle room? Economics. In Indiana, business owners prefer East Coast time to sync themselves with New York. But farmers in Western Indiana care less about Wall Street and more about the sun. So 18 counties joined the Central Time Zone, which more closely follows the sun's path. Just like states, time zones can have border problems. Imagine living in one time zone and working in another.
Here atop the Hoover Dam, one can stand in 2 states. My right foot is in the state of Nevada, my left foot is in the state of Arizona. It also sits on the border of 2 time zones. And so if I step over here, I have to adjust my watch. Luckily, there are 2 clocks here to clear up the confusion. Do you know what state you're standing in right now?
Probably Nevada, but it could be Arizona. I'm not sure.
You're also in 2 time zones. You know that?
Ah, I did not know that. Okay.
Do you know which time zones those are?
Pacific and Mountain?
That's right. Except for when what?
Daylight savings.
Right. I'm not pulling the wool over your eye at all about anything. If you're from Florida, what time zone are you in?
Well, where I live, we're in the Eastern Time Zone.
And what's the other time zone?
We go over the Panhandle, you're in the Central Time Zone, an hour difference.
And you're standing in?
Right now I'm in, let's see, this would be Pacific Time Zone.
And if you crossed over the Hoover Dam on the other side, you'd be in?
Mountain Time Zone.
Except during?
Daylight savings time.
8 plus.
Wow.
8 plus. Wow. So, Richard, we've traveled the entire country looking for someone who works in 2 time zones. You work physically on the border between Mountain and Pacific Time Zone. Does that wreak havoc on your life?
If you think about it sometimes, yeah.
What time do you go by then?
Always Pacific Standard Time.
Always Pacific. So
Right.
when you work on the Hoover Dam, you go by Pacific
Exactly.
Standard Time.
Because our main headquarters is in Boulder City, Nevada. And since it's in Boulder City, that's where we're set on Pacific Standard Time.
Okay. When you're late to work, can you ever offer up an excuse like, oh, I thought you meant Mountain Time?
Sure, I've tried that once.
Did you? Did it
Didn't
work?
work too well, no.
no, you're doing it all wrong.